What's up, guys? Welcome back to Airbnb ABCs. On one of the last videos that I made, I had talked about how I am able to use automated messaging to fill in the gaps in my schedule, the ones that I call orphan days, where folks book and then you have like a day or two that's unbookable because of your minimum stays. I'll leave a link to that video if you want to check that out. If you want to try to fill in the gaps in your schedule, try to squeeze out that last little bit of revenue that you can get out of your short-term rental, because that's what we are trying to do here at this channel, is make everyone as much money as they can so that they can achieve that level of financial freedom and do whatever the heck they want. So the next question that I always get after how do you do that, how do you automate it, is how do I actually go about changing the reservation in the softwares, in VRBO, in Airbnb, after the folks have agreed to this discounted night, this orphan night, or whatever you want to call it. The answer is there's two ways. The guest can do it on their end, which is probably not the best way to do that, because this is probably only the first, second, maybe third time that they've used either of these platforms, and for the most part, they've probably only just booked something and never used it after that. You, on the other hand, are probably going to be into these things several times a week, several times a day, and you'll be much more familiar with the user end of this and the back end of this from the host point of view. And so that's the way I always recommend folks doing it, is for the host to modify the reservation and send that extra charge to the guests, because I mean, honestly, that's probably the way that it should work. We are in the hospitality business, and so be hospitable to the folks that are renting your place at $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a night. Give them the customer service that folks are probably looking for. So today, what I'm going to do is show you how to actually change the reservation in VRBO, in my actual VRBO accounts, how to change reservations in Airbnb as far as I can get without actually doing it, because these are live reservations that people have in the future, so we can't screw that up for them and for me. And so if this interests you, this helps you, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us out in the YouTube algorithm, and be sure to subscribe down below so that we can continue to grow this channel and help out other Airbnb and VRBO hosts. Although I get the most bookings from VRBO by far, I'm probably 80% plus VRBO bookings. This platform is not easy to use. It's not easy to use from the guest point of view. It's not easy to use from the host point of view. It just isn't. So this is the hardest one. This one makes you do the most work in order for you to get this reservation changed. So the first thing that you have to do is get into the guest booking, and you can get there from the messages board, the message feed that it has. You can get there from the calendar, and I think that that's probably about it. And when you're doing this, it's very similar on mobile as it is on desktop. I'm doing this on desktop. I am a early 1980s kid, and so the doing things on the PC is still easier for me than doing them on apps. It's the way I like doing it. I'm probably starting to show my age a little bit, and that sort of stinks, but that's the way it goes. When you get in here, you're going to need to find this menu right here where it says booked. It has a reservation ID, it has their nights that they're staying, it has their check-in, check-out, the name of the property, the total payout, and then it has this button here that says edit or cancel booking. And I'm gonna go off on a sidebar here. Never ever cancel a booking from your end as the host. It is horribly bad for your metrics for Airbnb and VRBO. Always get the guest to cancel, even if you have to kick them some money. I mean, it's so bad for your property that it's just something that you should never do. Go ahead and click the edit or cancel button, and it will bring up this menu here that says edit or cancel the bookings. And you can see here that it's already giving you language that's not good to cancel. So you click the edit booking menu. This is about as far as I can show you on the screen, because after that it starts getting into actually changing this person's booking. So I'm just going to walk you through it. You click on this dates menu here, and this is where you're going to select if there's an orphan day before or after your booking. You're going to select the start and end date. With VRBO, they make you select both the new start and the new end date, even if you're not changing one or the other. It leaves your check-in and check-out times the same. It leaves the guest the same, whether it has adults, kids, whatever. So you need to just make sure that you are selecting the date that you want to include, and then the other date that was already booked. After you're done with that, you hit save, and it will automatically modify that reservation, and it will send that modified reservation to the guest. That is done. So that reservation, as far as your automated messaging to your cleaners, to anyone else that may be involved in your message chain from your property management software like Hospitable or Guesty for Host or OwnerRez, that stuff is going to happen. And I should mention as well, I use Hospitable only, and so the way that Guesty for Host or OwnerRez may be a little bit different, but from my understanding, they pretty much all work the same as far as the major components of it. So once you do that, the reservation is changed. Now, it is going to bring up a screen after this that says, add extra charge, and they are going to come up with some number, and I'm not even sure how VRBO comes up with the number because it never really jives with what I have going on. And so what you're going to do simply is put in there that it is an extra fee. You'll have to choose some sort of a description for it in a pull down box, and I either use early check-in or late departure. That doesn't really mean anything as far as the guest is concerned, as far as the software is concerned. You just have to pick something, so I picked the most appropriate thing. And then you also have to write in there in the description box what it is. They give you 50 characters, and I either put in that it's a day before their stay or an extra day after their stay. It sends that in a message, and they will be prompted to make that payment. The biggest thing about VRBO is that they do not calculate taxes and fees for you. You have to manually calculate the taxes and fees that will be taken out of that extra day for your taxes, and then for the platform fees for VRBO. So if you don't include those, you just take your nightly rate and you deduct your 20% off that you're going to give them for to entice them to book that. If you do not add on your taxes and your booking fees, which for me in Gatlinburg altogether, I had 24.75% for like 12% booking fees, the 12.75% taxes for all the different taxes that Gatlinburg and Tennessee charges me. If you don't do that, you will end up getting that taken out of your already discounted rate. So be careful with that on the VRBO end. Be sure to include your discount and all your taxes and fees. Once you have done that, VRBO will send that extra charge request to them. It will also send reminders if they do not pay it, and it will be on them at that point to pay that. But just know that when you modify that reservation to start with, that changes the reservation. It does that. They do not have to approve it. It is changed. So they will start getting, if all your stuff is automated, your automated messages for check-in and et cetera, even if they haven't necessarily paid the fee. So just be careful with that with VRBO. Again, not the most user-friendly platform, but I get a ton of bookings through it, so it's really hard to argue making money. Now on to Airbnb. They do a much better job with their booking platform. Their technology is so much better. It is just a much easier user interface to use from the host side, from the guest side. I know that it gets a lot of hate from hosts thinking that they get worse guests or whatever, but it's not been the case for me, and I really like dealing with Airbnb software more than VRBO. Unfortunately, Airbnb only makes up about 15 to 20% of my total bookings, and that's only because I have a new cabin right now that's getting mainly Airbnb bookings. Prior to that, I was like 95% VRBO with the two that I had before that. So, I get most of my stuff from VRBO. In Airbnb, when you want to give someone that discounted rate, Airbnb does calculate all the taxes, all the fees that they're going to take out. And so that's kind of a double-edged sword because it makes it easier on you doing this additional day. But when you are sending it to, when you're conversing with the guest, it does make it a little bit difficult to nail down that exact dollars and cents amount that is going to be sent to the guest. So what I do is I just do the same math as when I'm selling one for a VRBO guest, and I just deduct my 20% that I use to entice them to book, and then add 24.75%, and I say it will be about this much. And I've never had any pushback on that. And if you do get pushback on that, you just simply say Airbnb is going to calculate exactly what it is. I'm just giving you an estimate. It should be within a couple bucks. And if it's a really big issue, you can always refund them the couple dollars that they're over, and everyone should be happy. But the way that I do this is I just go ahead and come in here and click on the date that I am going to sell them at a discounted rate. I click on that date, it's going to bring up pricing. I just simply type in whatever the rate that I want to sell them at. So that's going to be the nightly rate minus 20%. Type that in, and then it will have save come up here, and that will change the price of the night so that you can just simply add that night onto the reservation. So we are going to go into an actual live reservation, and just like the VRBO stuff, I cannot go all the way to the end because it will change this, but we are going to scroll down to where it says, and I always have a tough time finding this, change reservation. You're going to click on that, and once you click on it, it's going to come in here and say cancel or change reservation. Again, canceling is a no-no. It even says here that there's going to be penalties. It's not something that you want to do hardly ever. There are some very certain extenuating circumstances and things with instant bookings that you can do. You can cancel those reservations, and we can get into that in a different video. If you guys are interested, leave me comments down below if that's the case. In this case, we're going to change reservation. That's going to bring up another menu, and you are going to select the dates, and in Airbnb you can simply select the dates that you want to change. You don't have to redo basically the entire reservation. It will then pick up that night that you have already changed the price on. It will include that in the reservation. It will include it will automatically calculate the taxes and fees that have to be added on to that, and they will show you a breakdown of the difference in payout between what you were going to get and what you are now going to get with this new reservation. You do that, you go down here, hit send request, and that will send that request to the guest. Now, this is a big difference between Airbnb and VRBO, is that when you send this request, the guest has to approve it before it will change the reservation, before it will send out all the automating messages to your cleaning team, to your pest control team, to your handyman if they're integrated into your property management software, and it will also send out that extra charge from Airbnb for the extra night, for all the fees, etc. Airbnb does make it very easy in this way, and it's pretty much, it's just extremely easy, and I wish that VRBO would catch up to Airbnb's technology game. So guys, there you go. There are the nuts and bolts of how to go in and actually change your reservations, change the prices on the days that you want to set for discounts, how to calculate your taxes and your fees that you're going to have to charge. Always keep in mind that with VRBO, you need to add your taxes and fees onto that reservation. It does not do it automatically for you like Airbnb's does. This is a little long-winded, a little down in the weeds into the nuts and bolts, but that is the things that you are going to have to do as an Airbnb host if you want to sell these orphan nights and really just pump that revenue through the roof so that you guys are making as much as you can on these properties that you have put your heart and soul and your hard-earned money in and are hoping to get a return for that financial freedom that we are all looking for. If this video has helped you out, be sure to hit that thumbs up button for me. That really helps this video out in the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe down below so you don't miss any other helpful, insightful, entertaining maybe content like this. Click on these videos that are on the screen. They're going to tell you all about the types of cabins that we buy, how we manage them from afar, and a few of these nuts and bolts videos that really are going to help you out in your Airbnb VRBO short-term rental hosting journey. I appreciate you guys watching today, and I'll see you in the next one.